Hey guys, welcome back. Episode 7, The Chronicles of No One Fresher. Back with TK and Mint.
And special guests, Big Nicks and MrD. So, in this episode, we're going to be talking to Danny about who he is, why he's here.
Danny,
and,
aka the clutch kick champion of MintyFresh.
Yeah, clutch kick hero.
Oh, is that my title?
Yeah. That could be an official title, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
So welcome back. This is episode
7.
7. Yeah,
Don't
we're
get
getting better
confused.
at this number thing.
Yeah.
Maths. Christ, we haven't even got to double digits yet and we're struggling.
I know.
So
Maths
yeah,
is hard.
this is episode 7. And yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
With us today, we've got Danny, MrD, formerly known as Daniel.
Birthed into the world as
Maiden
Daniel.
name,
Young
previous
Daniel.
name. Yeah, D. This is gonna be difficult.
D's the youngest member of the MintyFresh crew.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah, still,
yeah.
yeah.
I haven't- yeah.
I'm getting older, but I'm still the youngest.
You're older, but you're still the youngest.
Yeah. So, yeah, D. We've been friends for a while, have we? Quite a while,
Over a decade.
probably over a
I know.
decade.
Yeah.
We've come to find out a decade isn't actually that long
No,
in the
it's
MintyFresh
not.
story.
No.
Like,
See, I think when I would have met you, you'd have been younger than I am now. Easily.
Yeah, probably.
yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's pretty likely.
I think I was 17.
Damn.
Or not. I think
No,
me
it'd
and
be
Fraser
younger,
bought.
younger than that.
Huh?
It'd be younger than that. So we went into jail
Yes.
in 2010.
Yeah,
you weren't
yeah.
even 7. I think you were just you were under 18 anyway. So
Yeah, no, because I remember it would have been 16, possibly, because we were maybe on JDM TAS.
JD and Tass would have been going.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think me and Fraser, maybe bought Minto Fruit or JDM TAS stickers off you.
Ah, yeah, the OG stickers. Totally.
Damn.
My first customers.
Yeah, and then they're still on the Mini.
Yeah, damn.
That's cool. Like,
That's cool.
yeah, so D's first car was a Mini.
Yeah,
Old school Mini.
it was the newest car I'd owned as well up until my current truck. Yeah, but it's like, it looks the oldest.
Yeah, that's the thing I found interesting about that Mini was that it was an old Mini, but it was new. It was
Yeah.
new. It was in 99, wasn't it?
Yeah, a 99 or 98 Rover Mini, like 1.3 Cooper Sport, and I think they made them up to like 02, and then the BMW ones started coming out. So yeah, you got the classic style into the new millennium. So
Mm.
and then the Mazdas were early 90s.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that was quite the car.
Yeah, we had some adventures in that Mini.
Yeah,
Getting pulled over at the top of that hill, remember? Remember the cops?
yeah.
Drove up to that hill, middle of nowhere, like stupid o'clock at night. Just driving along, and then I seen like the fluorescentness of the side of a police jeep, and we were like, "Uh-oh."
Yeah, just driving along like over a crest, and then 100 or so meters in front of you, you just see this parked police car, and then you're like, "Oh, okay."
Was it
Well,
the Mexican police?
Yeah, they were fairly Mexico.
Yeah.
but we were acting not in Mexico, like.
Oh yeah. See, so no illegal activities, just mind your
Yeah,
business.
there was. Yeah, we were north of the border.
Oh, we were certainly north of the border. at that
Well, like,
point.
what were they doing?
Well, that was what we said.
Yeah, that's a good
What were
question.
they doing?
Like, nobody was out there apart from us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what were we doing? We were just going for a random drive because that's what we did. But
Yeah.
what were they doing?
Mhm.
They were in like a forestry car park on the top of this hill.
Well,
Like
you
just,
know what they say about people in forestry car parks.
yeah,
Yeah,
That
that's
time
what
of
we said afterwards.
that's what we said.
Mhm.
And then we didn't even turn around and go back.
Didn't turn around.
We just kept on going. Like Like, that's the way we were going. And we ended up on some roads that neither of us had been on, and them following us.
Yeah, because like we went past them and we both like we were just sitting in this
We were
tiny
just
little
like,
mini,
"Oh, well."
just like they're looking at us, just keep going, and then like we just kept going. Then they pulled out behind us. Oh no, just keep going. And then we got to the bottom of that hill, and then it was like turn right, and we were like, oh, we don't know this way. I'll just go this way. And then turn right, and then all of a sudden blue lights came on, and we're like, ah, shit.
Yeah. I think they even pulled us before we got to the bottom. But it had been foggy or like low cloud at the top. So there was 4 spot lamps on the front of that. Two of them came on with the full beams, and 2 of them were fog lights. Obviously had the fog lights on. And I'm not sure if I bothered turning anything off going past them. Yeah, parked car in a lay-by.
Yeah.
I'm on a foggy road, so I don't think I needed to. And that was the only thing they could come up with.
Yeah, because they searched everything.
That would have been their reason for stopping. And they couldn't do anything else. Just sort of, what to know, chancing. I mean, it's a high chance. It could have been people up to no good, but
Drinking strong coffees or something up there. Who knows? Would have been a good spot for that.
not us. Not us
Definitely
anyway.
not us.
No, we're like enthusiasts.
Yeah,
I
enthusiast drivers.
enjoying the
enthusiasts.
countryside and the cars.
Yeah.
But I remember after that they were following us and deer were jumping and everything, and we're like, oh man,
Yeah.
they're really getting a show of everything here.
Yeah. But I remember they searched the glove box, which was like tiny.
Oh yeah,
They're like-
this Yoda mug would struggle to fit in
Yeah.
it.
And they searched the boot, what the boot opened and stuff, searched through the car. But the car's tiny, so there's nothing. And they were I think they were a bit disappointed they didn't find anything, like espresso beans or something, or like coffee presses or whatever. But yeah, they didn't find shit on us. So yeah, we were off on our merry way in our little mini adventure. That was
In all the
sweet.
years of driving, I've probably only been. I could probably count the times on one hand that I've been stopped for actually doing something illegal.
Touch wood.
Touch wood. The rest of the times it's been, oh, your lights look funny. Oh, you've got window tints. Oh, your car is too loud. Oh, we don't like you.
I got that one a lot.
Mm.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, that was a good car. I didn't drive that car for too long though. That must have been 2 years maybe. But it kind of went downhill after I've started investigating ditches in it.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it's not a good place to park.
No. So yeah, actually not too far from where we went to that place for that first meet. It
In
was like
Mexico.
up towards the like the Lech direction. It's all toge roads up that way past
Yeah.
Strathdown. And then he
It's in a
phoned me
rush.
one morning and
They woke you up one morning.
woke me up one morning. I was on a back shift at work, so I had to be in there for like lunchtime.
Well, I was about to say, when Mint says morning, that's any time between 7 and 11:59.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much, yeah. But I was sleeping. Danny phoned me, woke me up, and said to me that he's just put his mini in a ditch and he's just gonna need to get towed out. I was like, bro, where are you? And he's like,
Mexico.
yeah, past like this place. I was like, I know how far away that is. It's like, damn it. It's like, I got work at like lunchtime. It's like, I'm gonna have to like nail it all the way out there and like try and tow this mini out the ditch. Got some rope and then got there and here's this mini. Like, I was like, whoa, how'd you do that? It's like mass oversteer or something into that ditch.
Yeah, it was. What was it? It was like a right hand there, and then it came into a tightening left with no doubt a drain on the apex,
Oh,
and I would have gone too fast, but that was fine. I think I would have hit the drain and lifted off.
yeah.
There's the error.
That's how you die.
Should have just pinned it.
Yeah, lift off.
Yeah.
Kept
lift
it in,
off.
and then obviously as soon as it started going, instead of just keeping on it, came off and then on the brakes, so exaggerated it, and before my real drifting days.
Were you
Yes.
watching Initial D before you did that?
I might have seen some,
Yeah.
but not enough to know how to be an FF master. No.
No, got no bunter skills like.
That was my first spin out, maybe
Mm.
of many,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe like the only one in that car.
It was the start.
But I wasn't able to tow the car out.
You weren't able.
No. What car did I have?
You had a Clio.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
So I'd driven like the whole way up there to try and tow the car out, and then when I got there, tried to tow it out and couldn't tow it out. It was
Is
like,
that the same Clio that stunk of cat piss?
oh, probably. Aye, because of the engine and gearbox that I
But
put in it.
didn't stink of cat piss then, I don't think.
No.
Maybe it did.
Yeah. That was a daily I didn't speak about actually on the first
Was it?
episode. Yeah, just
The
bypassed
Capus
that one.
Clio.
It's not worth talking about.
No.
So a farmer came along with a 4x4, I think, and towed the Mini out. I think that was the situation.
Yes, it was. Should have probably just gone to him.
Should have gotten him. Saved me driving like an hour and a half or something.
Yeah, 2 hours of driving.
Yeah. I was late for work that day. And I think, did you not just keep going?
No, I abandoned ship.
Oh.
I went home. I was like, I'm not going to get over in any decent time, so I'll go home. I was going to go to this snowboard competition
That's right.
without knowing how to snowboard competition. All I could do was snowboard, so,
Yeah.
you know.
You can see why Danny fits so well in the MintyFresh
I
group.
know.
Doesn't really know how to snowboard competition. Goes to a snowboard competition anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, I can walk, so I'm going to enter a 100-meter race.
Yeah. Sounds
like
good.
that
Yeah, I'm going
mentality.
to enter the Olympics. Gonna enter the Olympics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ambitious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at that time with the Mini, is that where you were making carbon parts, or was it MX5? Because I remember going out, so Pine Cone Racing.
That was all MX5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I was, I think, I must have sort of halfway through being 17 or something. See, I was started to drive in the summer, so it put me trying to get a test in the winter. So by the time I passed, it was like February, and then I reinsured the Mini when I was 18, and by the end of that year, when I was 19, I'd gotten into an MX5,
Mm.
the green one.
The one, yeah.
Yeah,
Mint's
my
one.
old
Well,
one.
Yeah,
the
Mint's old
red
one.
one, the purple one, then the green one.
Yeah.
The Skittles coloured one.
Yeah, it's all the same.
The infamous kickflip car, which we'll come on to later.
So the
Nollie hard flip,
Nollie.
really. If we're
Yeah.
if we're gonna be particular, nollie
I
hard
suppose
flip.
it was a hard flip as
Yeah.
opposed to a kick flip.
Yeah, hit with the front, like straight up, and then rotation.
So
I'm on
the
it.
usual one more run. Let's go for one last run.
Yeah.
Let Mint drive my car. That used to be his car. He'll know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
What's the worst that can happen?
What's the worst can happen?
Uh,
Well, what the worst that happens is you squash the roof of your car,
The worst case scenario.
nearly kill yourself. At that time, he'd already had a head injury, which we'll come back to. Fell off a skateboard,
yeah.
Yeah.
and I basically had to drive a chaser home.
Yeah.
Because both of them had head injuries that were...
Well,
Well,
I
we didn't take the chance of you having head injuries.
no, I didn't. But technically, the roof and your helmet were marked, like where the roof
The roof collapsed.
the roof lining like scuffed your helmet, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like we'll put the photo here, but you can see like where the driver and passenger were, the bar, the crossbar, like roll cage bar or whatever you want to call it. Say it stops that roof coming completely down.
Yeah, that roll bar basically saved us from dying, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But that would have been from like a tire or a big bin or something in the flip. It's not like it landed on the ground with the weight of it on the roof. That was something hitting the roof in the flip.
Yeah, you landed back on the wheels technically. Yeah.
So it was a.
If anything,
it was a
it
make.
bounced us.
Nobody filmed it though. So
No.
No, we were at the pit.
Everybody was packing up to go because we were like, "Oh, you'll go for one last run," and I actually had my back to it, and everybody was just like, "What the fuck's going on?" I'm like, "Oh," and then everybody's like, "Oh, Mint's crashed." I'm like, "Oh, aye, okay," like thinking he'd crashed like head first, and then somebody said, "Oh no, he's upside down." I was like, "What?" And then I can't remember. I don't really remember what happened. Not really.
I
like,
remember exactly what happened.
Understeer.
No,
well, the
that
theory
was
is the
like
tie rod broke.
yeah, something happened. It was like middle of transition, and
Yeah, you went to go and it just didn't go.
it didn't react, and it was like I think if I was right, I think I was something like because I remember going around that corner, it was fine, transition because it was like a manji before that toilet block corner, and then instead of snapping back, like I was facing right, and then instead of it transitioning back left again, it just didn't, and it was like we went. Did we not go into that tatty box passenger side?
Well, I think it was. So the corner's like going this way, so maybe managing down like this, and I think you come, and the end sort of doesn't continue. Like it had been continuing managing, and then it just doesn't, and it plows in, so like front driver's side like this, and it just like flip over. You're like we're both must have been like, oh well, this is coming. You were like, oh sorry, dude. Like I was like, oh well, yeah, this is gonna happen.
So I had nothing. I had no like
Yeah, you know,
no feedback at that point.
whatever it was, something broke or like
We were going fast. Like it
Would have
felt
been
pretty
third.
fast. Third gear.
It's
Yeah.
the age-old thing. MX5. The way to drift is to go fast.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
going. You're pinned the whole time.
Yeah.
But I think it had like wider tires on the back and skinny tires on the front, or like the stance was wrong. It was like a trike. I reckon if you had wide stance up front and narrower stance on the back, it would have handled better. But regardless, you know, something could have broken before, or the tires were weird. Something just went weird, and we went, yeah.
I personally, I think it
forward.
was the track rod end because we were adjusting that the day before. Do you remember the super now end?
Doing the toe.
Yeah, we did the toe the day
That
the night
track is
before.
rough.
And the track's rough.
Yeah.
And the track is rough.
And when we got the car back, the tie rods were disconnected.
Yeah, they were separated. So.
Mhm. But then that could have been the crash. Could have
But
been.
that, well, I mean, yeah, after that crash, everything was not
Yeah, it
disconnected.
sheared the bolt, I think. So where the
Yeah.
sleeve on the rod, was it IKEA? Was it IKEA formula? No, Supernaut.
Yeah, super seal rods and super now ends.
Yeah. Oh, it was even yeah. You had the rods.
FC3S
You had the rods as
ends.
well.
Yeah, super seal rods.
But I think it was the end. The Supernaut end sheared where it went into the adjustable bit. So that could have been a savage bump or the impact. But it just decided not to steer
Bad enough.
for whatever reason. Yeah, and we
Wrote off
went
the car.
end over end and landed up the right way. The ended up completely skipping the track and then facing the right way for the side we ended up on. It's like you were like, oh, here's a Mario Kart shortcut. My door was open, I think.
Yeah,
I
it
think
was
my door
definitely open.
buckled
Your
open.
door with your leg
And
was out of it.
my left foot was like outside. I was like, I'll put this back in.
I know. It's like, oh my god.
Fucking lucky. Like we laugh about it now, but holy shit! I remember at the time being like, "Fuck,"
Yeah.
because you'd had that, like you fell off that skateboard and banged your head like what 8 weeks before that, maybe even longer.
Yeah, I don't know the exact times. You could probably figure out by like blog posts and stuff when that day happened and then when I fell. But I mean, that was weird. I'd been skating for more than a decade with like, you know, skating parks, streets and everything, and like helmet, no helmet. And then the thing that got me was rolling down the street.
On a longboard.
No, on a small board.
Oh, it was a small board.
It was a small board with oversized wheels. So I either got wheel bite or I tried to hop the curb, like even the drop curb. I was going so fast, I just didn't really ollie it. I just tried to like D-weight hop and the back truck hung. I obviously don't know
I don't remember
which
much
it
about
was, but vaguely remember something at the time. But yeah, kind of remember going down hard. And then waking up 2 days later.
Yeah.
Woke up 2 days later. Went down
with-
hard and then woke up like a week
Yeah,
later.
it's some trippy dream. I like vaguely must have come to on. Well, I was like came to that day, but have no recollection.
No.
And then sort of remember coming to in hospital, but it was like like a dream, and then I came to into it, and I was like, oh no, this is like real. It's like in a room on my own. And then I properly came to like on the Tuesday, so this would have been on the Sunday it happened. Came to in like a room with like loads of people, so what, like 6 to 8 beds, and then just you feel a bit knocked out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it turned out fractured my skull in the strongest part of the skull, so that's an achievement.
Yeah.
It was terrifying for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
wasn't
you phoning
knocked
me and
out.
telling me, like,
There was a lot of blood, I think.
It was a hell of a lot of blood, yeah.
It burst my eardrum.
That's right. It came out your ear. That was the scary thing about it. Well, not the only, but one of the scary things.
that's what they say, though. If you like, when I fractured my eye socket and blood came out of my ear, and it was weird. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah,
what's going on?
That'd be freaky.
It was freaky. Like,
But like I couldn't hear that well in the hospital, and then it must have been like the Wednesday or something. I went like that and took out a slug of like congealed blood,
yeah.
and it all sort of makes sense looking back now that it burst, like that's where all the blood came, and then it all built up in there. And I was like, oh, I can hear again, slightly.
That was probably like up there with one of the most scariest moments of my life, probably.
Yeah.
Is seeing like your mate do that, because you're like when you came off that board, it was like I looked back and seen you on the deck and was sort of like, idiot.
How cool.
Like he's just like as he said, just like hit a rock or something. That's what I thought. And he was just down, and then like gave it a second. It's like he's not getting up, and then like went back, and then you were out cold, and like I don't remember like if you had a seizure like at that moment when you were out or what, but like when you did have a seizure, I remember like picking your head up. You're not supposed to even do this stuff, are you? You're not supposed to, like, if someone has a seizure, but I didn't know what to do. I was freaking out as well. So like I think I put your head like on my lap to save you like bashing your head more, and then it was just like blood like everywhere, and I seen it coming out your ears, and I was like, holy shit. And then it was like once you stopped like having your seizure, you were just like out cold, and it was like that split moment of like, oh, okay, is this dude still here? You know, like, because it was like I didn't know what to think.
No.
So it was like, you know, a woman across the road in the house. She came running out. She had obviously like seen what had happened and had towels, or she went back and got towels, came back out, and then she phoned the ambulance, and then the ambulance turned up, the police turned up, your dad turned up, and then you were still out, I think, for a bit. And then when you came to, you were like so angry, like, oh man, like you were like pissed off with the ambulance guys, and but they say that like a head injury like that creates like anger, random anger issues.
Yeah, that's what
and
happens.
stuff. So yeah, you were like, and we were trying to calm you down, and like I never seen you angry. I don't think I've ever seen you angry like that, and it was
I have no recollection
complete
of that.
complete out of character sort of thing.
Yeah, that's when you know somebody's got a head injury, when they act completely out of character.
For sure. So it was like, it was an initial like, oh, decent, he's up. You know, because you jumped up. You were like, boom, up. And we were like, decent, he's
Let's
up.
go skateboarding.
And you were like all confused. And it was like, okay, he's confused. And then he was angry. And it's like, oh shit, he's angry. That's weird.
I
Okay.
have like the slightest memory of maybe getting back up, and like a little bit of, I kind of vaguely remember coming off. I swear it's like at the bottom of that hill, near where the little hills were, and I think it was around about that curb. Was there not like a blood stain after?
Yeah.
I
So
got
like
out?
the entrance into the museum, it was literally just pretty much at that entrance of the museum,
Yeah.
like where it was. But yeah, scary times. And then you were taken off to hospital, and then that was you for a wee while, jumping in and out and checking he was all good.
And then Nolly hard flipped an MX5 as a
I
passenger.
know.
Fuck's sake.
Within the year for sure.
Yeah.
Jesus,
Yeah.
man. Like, I remember being like, oh, is everybody okay? Like, everybody's okay. And then I just remember Mint like freaking, because he was just like, but then Danny's head, like, let's, okay, like, fucking hell, get him in the car and just make sure he's okay. And I think you were okay. You were just a bit, I think you were both a bit shocked, obviously.
Yeah. I was like totally fine from that, but I think you came out like slightly scuffed up and more sort of freaked out than me. I was sort of cool with it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I suppose I was probably freaked out because I just sold the car to you.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Sold the scene.
yeah, sold the.
Tail light warranty.
wasn't supposed to happen like that. That wasn't the plan. Like, my
The whole
idea.
idea was you were going to show D quickly, like, how to do a little bit of drift. Like, D was drifting that day, and then you
Yeah.
were like, oh, yeah, let's go.
So
Like,
I
I'll
had the
just go out and-
chaser, and you had
Mhm.
the MX. That was your first drift car, first drift event that you went to drive. And then I was like, I'll go around and do some laps. Or you said, come do some laps. And then we did some laps, and it was sweet. All the laps were fine.
I think you did laps with me,
Yeah.
and then I was like, oh, you need to like, you drive and I'll see. But the car was not set up good that day, even for you being
No.
a much better driver. The car was, yeah, it wasn't, like the tires were off from front and back. It was,
Yeah.
it wasn't easy to drive.
Mhm.
Wasn't like loads of pressure in the rear like it should have been.
Yeah.
But I think the tires were like too grippy, front or rear. It was all wrong.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, after that kind of came back down on its wheels again, it was a case of like, I need to buy another car for Danny. Like, felt pretty pretty guilty, like feeling like obviously after I realized he hadn't lost his leg and neither of us had died, it was like shit. I just wrote the car off. Like looking at the car, it was like, yeah, that car is like ruined, like totally ruined. I had to get forklifted off the track.
Yeah, it's fucked.
It was like totally a mess. So
When you stripped it, was it not like basically snapped in two, the chassis legs?
It was
I
bent.
think it was all. It wasn't that bad. I think you could have easily, especially us now, would have easily
Yeah.
fixed it. I don't think the window pillar was damaged at all. There's pictures of it, but
Yeah.
it was mostly the front light, slightly all in front of the struts, like slightly crippled. I've seen a lot worse, but you know, it probably wasn't that much. How many MOTs was that shell gonna have left in it?
Mhm.
And they were cheap at that time, thankfully.
Yeah, they were pennies, like
Yeah.
pennies for an MX5 at that point.
I think I paid you double what you had to buy the blue one for me for, which featured in episode 1. You guys put up a picture of a meet from Dundee, and that blue MX5
Yeah, that was
was
your
the
one.
one that I then received as my 10-second car.
10-second
He owed
car.
me.
Payment for
That
nollie
was
hard
the joke
flipping.
the whole way home. You owed me a 10-second car.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Oh, you were 10
That's
second
right.
car.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did that. I bought it was Natalie's MX5.
That's right.
It was Natalie's
Yeah.
MX. It was a Unos 1.6.
Yeah, 1692 or 93. I think it's a 92. But yeah, the good 1.6.
Yeah,
Because after 94 they detuned them.
Mhm.
little fact for everyone there.
Yeah.
MX5 facts.
All you 1.8 fanboys, if you get an early 1.6, it'll hold up. Holds on.
It'll smoke you.
Yeah, we can go into
The 9-second car.
1.6 versus 1.8 rant later.
Yeah, they're not. They're the same. Pretty
Kind-
much.
Kind of, yeah. I think,
We raced them, and there was not much in them.
When it-
Mexico.
yeah,
Driftland.
when it was going good, or on the track, you know. Pete's car sucked against mine for a while. Like, my car was faster than Pete's, and then he went a different way and made his fast.
He one J'd it and one at life cheat
No,
coded
I think
his
with the wind, I think he had too much he added grip to his car, so he didn't really have much grip, so he couldn't put the power down. He had the power, but he wasn't getting it down. And then when he put the power down, I was like, oh, bye. Away he goes.
Yeah.
So the blue MX became in the end the purple MX. That's like you've still got it.
Yeah, it stayed blue for a while.
Mm-hmm.
It was, yeah, I got it, and we stripped the green one, and then like that blue one had a problem with the driver's side window. It was chalked up with a piece of wood, so I just swapped the green door onto the blue shell
Mm-hmm.
because that was a good window, and then that became the start of the multicolored. And I also wore the front bumper from the green car that got that head-on impact. That survived perfectly well. Good Mazda plastics, like full-on front impact flip, still usable. There's the only bumper better then Gundam Aero for survivability.
Ooh,
Heard it here first.
controversial.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not fiberglass.
No.
It's plastic.
It's plastic, yeah.
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 But yeah, then slow progress with that. It probably had a yellow boot wing at one point. So your yellow car with the buckets, when you had, so the boot wing must have been when your car you sold me was green. You had was it the Vindy?
Vindy duckbill.
Yeah, duckbill. So, and then I must have sold it back to you or gave it back to you when you had the yellow one, which would have started silver. And then I got it back when you sold that yellow one to Fraser.
That's right.
So my car was multicolored for a bit. Like black, green, blue, and yellow.
You did engine work as well to that car. Or you ported a Porsche head, didn't you, on that one?
Yeah, so I would have, the first things I would have done.
Sorry to interrupt you. I just need to go and check. We don't need to clip it, but I need to go and check the autofocus. I've got a bad feeling it's not. It's autofocusing.
Uh-oh.
That one.
Okay.
The wide.
The wide one.
The wide one will be. Or not. It's not focused on the Christmas plant.
Oh, is that why it's there? Not because it's Christmas.
Yeah, it's Christmas. It's Christmas plant.
But yeah, what state would that car have come? I think it was quite standard. It might have had coilovers. I'm not sure. But yeah, it would have. Maybe it did. It maybe came with HSDs.
Mm-hmm.
But they sort of ended up getting worn out from our roads.
Did I not? I serviced HSDs.
Yes.
Remember,
Yeah,
I took
you
them
gave
and
me
put
that
them in the special bath at work,
Yes.
the Ross bath.
special offshore
Yeah.
sealant tape on them afterwards.
That's
as well.
right. Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, I think it came with HSDs,
Mm-hmm.
and that was maybe about it.
Mm.
It had and then I would have started out in the sort of suspension realm,
Mhm.
getting them going, and I bought. I can't remember if I was running your watts for some point, and then maybe when you got the yellow car, you took the watts back, and I got the compomotives. So I got them just before a drift day, and I fitted them. So like, what were they? 15 by 9 ET0. Maybe fitted them with an inch spacer the night before, and then loaded up the car and drove to Rapid to meet you, and that was the hellish few mile drive. Got the pole out, mutilated the arches, and then drove down to Fife.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it would have been suspension, wheels, and then at some point I even bought MintyFab or KingFab knuckles, which were cut and shut knuckles, which I remember at one point giving Dan from Destroy a lift around Driftland, and he then developed his famous sort of knuckles after experiencing MX5s with knuckles. I think he was getting into MX5s at that point.
Yeah.
So yeah, it slowly progressed through suspension. It just had, I ended up getting China coilovers from eBay, but good ones. Because I think they were about maybe £600, so cheaper than HSDs.
Yeah.
And I was emailing them, and they're like, "Oh, we're a factory, we can do anything." But they had, so what would HSDs would have been 6 and 8K spring rates,
Mm-hmm.
and these were maybe 8 and 10. So that made a huge difference, the stiffer spring rates. And poly bushed on the bottom probably, like a decent high level, like better than HSDs for less. It still has them. And then through the years, I've been removing locking collars to get it lower and lower and lower. But yeah, now it only has the locking collar that supports the shock. I probably need to start going back up.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah, keep it low.
Driving slam drift cars, like people will moan and comment on slam drift cars, but yeah, the whole point of drifting is style.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I was just thinking when Dee was saying there about the few miles of torture he had to drive it, like, I think 90% of my drift days I've ever had, I have
Torture.
the night before, I've prepped the
It's made a
car.
massive change.
I've prepped the car so it looks super cool, as low as I could make it, stancy, whatever. It looks awesome. Filled the car, and then driven from Alfred to White House and been like, nope, doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of times I've pulled into White House, like going to a drift day and been like, right, out, everything out of the car, load up a support vehicle. But I can't have anything in this car other than me and one passenger because like
Yeah.
it would just be torture to drive. But you put up with it. You put up with it.
Great fun.
It was like when I went to Gulfsby and left it from Chaplin. The
Oh,
night
yeah.
before that one, like dumped that MB, like it was low. I was like, looks sick. And then like tried to drive out the driveway and was like, oh, I can't even get out my driveway. It's like, there's no way I can get to Gulfsby. Like, I'm going to have to do something about this. And then had to like lift it ever so slightly. It killed me.
The roads to Gulfsby aren't even that bad. They're bad, but they're not that bad. But the actual road from the main road to the track
The track is bad, yeah.
is like a
bad.
bomb site.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the bridges are bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the bridges in Dundee and past Inverness up, there are all those joins. It's like,
Yeah, brutal.
The worst bit of Dundee's the roundabout, the one roundabout that's got like the massive bowl in it, and you come out the other side.
Mm-hmm.
on the way to Crail.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you have to drive like either round the very outside of it and stay outside all the time, or go through the middle but then come across on the left and go round
Mhm.
to not scrape. I have to do that in the Evo, let alone the your cars.
Yeah.
The Evo's semi-high compared to your
It's like
cars.
it's sort of a thing that most people never have to think about. You know, like which part of the road they have to drive on to get to somewhere, or like what roads they need to take to get to a place if a car is dumped.
Yeah,
I was telling this to somebody at work, and they were just like, "How can you drive that car? Like, what if you come across a speed bump?" And it's like, "Well, that's it, isn't it? You just have to
don't-
turn around."
Yeah.
There's an easy solution: airbags.
Oh man, bags are for shopping, dude.
Bags are for Tesco's and Co-op.
Yeah, if you go over that speed bump, no ball.
Well, yeah, you can. Yeah. If
I
it was
must
mo-
admit, after players, I was slightly converted. Just slightly.
I can see why though, and I can see why Driftworks have done the cups, like for
Oh,
the
yeah.
HSDs. You know, that airbag cups. That's
thought
a
about
good
the
idea.
cups
I
at
thought
one
about them as well. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
I've
lie.
considered the cups.
It's funny though, the folk that slag off airbags are just poor people.
Oh,
Airbags, and they
fired.
never experienced
Hot
the
take
luxury of
from Nix.
airbags.
Yeah,
Damn,
I mean
hot
that's it.
take.
I mean, I remember it was. I think it was one of the earlier Tokyo Auto Salons, and KW had a stand, and they had been. This was like the first time they had been released air suspension that was for the track, and like give them their due. The videos they posted up with their track cars with that suspension, they were doing decent times. They were doing just as well as cars with coils, and it was pretty impressive to see that.
Oh yeah, airbag technology at that point had progressed. Like even Nix's airbags, they're like solid rubber. Like, you know what I mean? Like before that, I'd have thought they'd just be kind of rubbery, springy kind of things, but they're absolutely solid. Even completely depressurized, they're solid.
See,
Like
I
they're
think
thick.
the old ones are like big sidewall tires, like
Mhm.
wobbly rubber,
Yeah,
but they're more like a.
But now it's
Even
like
one of the
bags for
Risky
life.
Devil dudes drifted with airbags in his S14
that's right.
from that the first final bout.
Yeah, it was Fish with the what was the kit? The Boss kit. Remember the Rocket Bunny Boss kit? That
Oh,
they made?
yeah,
That
yeah,
looked
yeah.
like the old school like American muscle car.
Yeah.
It was bagged.
Yeah.
And V8, wasn't it?
Oh, maybe yeah, maybe it was.
V8.
Maybe.
Maybe. I'm a bit
Or
rusty
was not the
on
guy
all
with
that.
the IS 300 or 300?
AJ.
I can't remember. It was one of them.
AJ's static for life.
Yeah.
I can see the advantage of them. Like,
Yeah. Pros and cons.
Think about busting an airline though.
yeah,
So, in a practical drifting sense, you'd have to have it set up and routed pretty well, like through the cabin
Yeah,
and the top
definitely.
sort of thing.
Yeah, inside would definitely be better for that.
The thing that put me off the cups though is the cups are almost as expensive as an airbag cup.
And technically, unless you did some custom stuff, they're going to raise your car
Mm-hmm.
because you're adding in something between you're adding in, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't drive one with air cups.
Yeah,
Air
that's the
cups are
problem. You
just for
can't.
getting over a bump, and then you got to
Yes, that's
lower
it.
it again.
Yeah, so they're not suited for
They're
driving.
not
up.
like an airbag. You could drive it extended and be quite high.
Yeah.
You're going to knock out the system.
As a chassis, the MX5 isn't great for being low because the chassis rails are so low.
Yeah.
So you start scraping way before you achieve the look you want on the arch or the kits. So it's really hard to get cheap lows. You have to get real lows, which,
Yeah. But your NA, like the last time I saw that NA, I think was actually the time I took the Gundam kit out, probably. And it, if I remember right, it was pretty dumped because I took photos and it looked dumped.
oh yeah. But then the Deuce kit probably looks close to equally dumped. Maybe your kit's a little bit lower, but the car at the moment and when it was last driven is the lowest it had ever been. Especially if you're on a 45 rear, 45 sidewall profile. That really helps for not rubbing on the wheel arches. So I think I'm gonna have to kind of tub it a bit because a lot of the problems I was getting with a 50 profile on suspension travel, it hits the inner wheel arch, probably front on lock and rear, and front on up and down, rear on up and down. So, but with 45 it helps, but then your rails are really low.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of did the opposite of Mint. I I focused on trying to get it to kind of drive a certain way, so improve the stock body roll, because basically a stock car has body roll. So you get the coilovers, that helps. Getting the stiffer springs really helped. And then as you go lower, you start getting like steering rods like this. You want to level them out.
Yeah.
So I made my own steering rack lifting brackets from some metal and drilled some holes in it and raised the rack up. And then the best thing, I would have had one steering rack spacer for lock. 2 steering rack spacers is ideal lock on each side. And then I ended up with knuckles, those cut knuckles I spoke about. And then I think you drop back down to 1 spacer in the rack, or none, I can't remember. It just depends where it binds. So it basically ended up at so much lock that you're either binding the inner wheel on the lower control arm, which you could change with offsets and spacers, or you're hitting the inner wheel arch, especially when you sort of go lower, have 15s with a 50 profile or something. You're hitting, I guess you could adjust the caster a little bit. We need to sort of dive back in and get it fully dialed at one point. But yeah, if you look in the arches, there's rub in lots of places on the inner arch.
Yeah.
Which slows you down.
Yeah.
But if that's where you have to go fast in the first place.
And the problem as always is you can't really test that on the road.
No.
So it's always you do something, you drive it, you realise it's binding, try and fix it at the track, but just deal with it and then go home, try and fix it.
It's not like, it doesn't bind. The worst is, I find the rear binds on a big bump. It like, the wheel bumps up and it would literally like, kind of be like you're pulling the handbrake on.
Yeah.
But that should only really happen. There's a bit on Driftland when you come down the wall, come in the second, and then when you transition into the back bit, there's a bit of a compression in the course. So when you hit that, that'll slightly bind you. That's kind of where you want to be powering through, but it probably gives you a little bit of handbrake check, just because it binds the wheel. So that's like the only rear bind, really. Front bind is a lot worse. I think you must have been in the car with me for some runs and you experienced that.
Yeah.
I remember taking Jites out as well. That's like ace video because he's just sitting like this. He makes me look like such a good driver because he's just sitting like an old man, relaxed as anything. He's not like braced up like he's going to get chucked around. He just sits super casual and I chuck it around. And then Yeah, we get like some sketchy bind on that run in either rear bind or steering bind as well. I think all four or both like ends of the car will bind at one point on those compressions, because as you're on lock and the car, as the wheel comes up, the car comes down, it completely locks everything. So it's like you've locked the brakes and pulled the handbrake. So
With it being a slower car as well, probably cause more. It's probably more apparent.
Yeah, because you're trying to like carry the momentum, and it takes it away. You could use it to your advantage in certain places, but there's bits on the track where, you're like, nobody else would chuck in a quick dab on the foot brake or the handbrake there. But that's the sort of going low. As you go lower, you find these problems and have to work around. So, yeah, the journey with the suspension setup's always been come down a bit, create a problem, try and fix the problem. But always getting better.
Yeah, it's part of the thing. It's how you want the car to look, though. So that's why it's like this. You know, you could live the easy life and just have it at a certain height and tune a suspension and go drifting all day long. But it's it's how I think it looks better on track myself. But then,
especially when you get kitted and low, it looks pretty good. I liked it before it had a kit. There was a style it had when it would have been like sort of stock body, but just front bumper, kind of like 86s get. If they don't go kitted, it's sort of that vibe. So it's not low, but it's low enough.
Yeah,
And that felt very drivable. That was two rack spacers, maybe coming into knuckles. The car was, I should have just done nothing else, just focused on my driving there, and I'd have been driving for the last 10 years rather than fixing stuff. But it's a journey.
that's the thing. Seat time's king.
Yeah, that was a seat time setup. Just the right sort of stiffness in the coilovers, couple rack spacers, not too low, nothing binds. Yeah, that's what you need. Need a nice seat, a wheel, steering rack spacers.
Nice seat like this option one we've got here.
Yeah, tires, plenty of tires. Although I've had a set that I did at least 3 drift days on.
I was about to say
3 or 4
the
days.
MX5's aren't too bad on tyres.
Yeah,
No,
They
really
can
good
be
on
though.
tires.
It's like 5 horsepower.
On a cold day.
Yeah, with the cold intake temperatures. But yeah,
Yeah.
D, the clutch kicking king.
I bet that's it.
Of
Next
no
time I
pressure.
drive that, I'm gonna be like, oh, clutch is done.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
The
the
video from Goldsby, I'm gonna clip it in here. Of D driving, it's just constant. All you see is like.
I think
Yeah,
I
I
taught
like
him
how there
everything I
was
know with that.
three different drivers, and like we all had different gloves. So that's how I knew we all had the same gloves but wore them different. So you wore shirts tucked in pink, and Pete maybe wore shirts tucked in purple. I wore shirts tucked in pink on one hand, purple on the other hand.
It's all in the little details.
That's how you do it.
That's how you can tell who's driving in the Goldsby video.
Yeah. For
It's
those who
nice.
didn't know.
Borrowing a car.
Yeah, that was all in the MB, my pink MB.
Yeah, it didn't get an ollie hard flip, did it?
No, it didn't. The track's not fast enough for that.
No.
Nowhere to flip there.
Weren't
I
trying.
don't know. Like I think you
I
could
reckon
find a
overcook
place
it
to flip.
going counterclockwise. You could overcook it into that hairpin
Yeah, fair.
and do a kickflip or a heel flip.
The roller coaster corner's my favourite though.
Mm-hmm.
At the back, so good. Looks so good from the spectator bit as well when you go through there, because you appear up and then you disappear again down this other side and away.
I think
Like
the biggest.
final bout.
Huh?
Very final bout-esque sort of track.
Yeah, with that up and down.
It is,
section.
yeah.
The biggest problem for me with Goldsby is that it's not like open lapped. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like you do a run, then you stop. That's what
Yeah.
I didn't like about that. The only thing I didn't like about that was because it's like when you do that, you're then queued up, and before you get back out again to try it again, you're not. You know what I mean? You've calmed down. Your tires are cooled down.
It
It's
doesn't
like-
suit MX5s.
It's bad for MX5 style driving. Like
I
MX5s,
found you need that 5 to 10 minute session. Like Driftland would run 5 to 10 minutes By the end of the session, my tires were starting to work for me.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah, you
everyone
picked
else was
them up.
overheating. We went to a private day once, and I was out for like almost half an hour, and I was like, maybe I should just go in.
That's
Like,
what it's like at
been out
Crail as
for a
well.
while.
It's like with the Crail big track days, it was like I remember going out there and like the amount of cars that would join and finish on my laps. Like S bodies would just go on and go off,
Yeah,
go
do
on and
one
go
lap.
off. And I'd just be doing lap after lap after lap, top end, like hardly touching the tires, and then being like, I should probably go off because I feel bad that I'm still on here. You know, not because the car needs to go off the track. The car could keep going for
I need to
ages. Didn't-
pretend I need to change my tires.
Yeah, it didn't use any fuel, didn't use any tires, so you just kept going. It was just like how knackered you got, and you were like, "Oh, I feel knackered. I must have been out for ages. I should probably go back in now." You know, it wasn't because the car was dying. Whereas like the Chaser, Jesus, like even at Driftland, like how many laps I do, I'd be like, "Oh, it's overheating," or "Oh, my tires died." All right, that's me back off.
Or at Crail, remember the batteries just disconnect.
Oh yeah, the
And you would just like
battery.
skid to a stop in the middle of a corner and the battery would switch off.
Yeah, that was annoying.
hmm We nearly died. Remember that time we stopped right at the top of the big corner
Yeah,
and it shut off right in the middle of the track?
yeah,
Yeah, we nearly died. We've nearly died a few times.
yeah. Lucky.
Mm.
Touch wood.
Oh, don't do that.
What?
Echo.
Oh, the
like a
yeah,
bass.
I'd rather not die.
For all the people wearing headphones, you're now dead.
Yeah, it's not happened to you.
But yeah, it'd be nice to have like an NA specific track day. So the sessions are suited, because I find it takes a good 5 minutes to get the tires in a workable condition on the MX5. It's not like you can go out and, unless they're really at the perfect level of part worn, you can't really go out and have it buttery smooth slide in. It's like a grip monster.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I'll tell you what's good is a good setup
Yeah.
because it's like Crail, but
It's rough, yeah.
It's rough,
All
but
day
it's
field.
slightly better, and you can just be out as long as you want, really.
Mm.
But like, not many people know about the place because it's still like, it's not like open invite per se.
I've not been up there yet.
It's worth going and checking out on a day for sure. I
Yeah, I
think.
might have beeped that out, beeped the bit out about where it is. Because I don't know how.
Oh shit! Yeah, the name is the location.
It's okay though. I'll beep it.
I'll beep it.
But if there's a club organising it, if the club wanted to invite more people and fundraise more, you know, the more people that go and participate helps the track progress.
The
'Cause it's
biggest
like-
problem is all the people that go up there and don't participate.
But they sort of have to go and participate. You have to.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about after hours. There's some after hours people that have been up there and
Is there?
broken in. Yeah. Which hasn't been very good.
Oh, I didn't know about any about that.
Yeah.
You could sort that with well, yeah. There's lots of like random ways in for these lame 4x4 drifters.
Mm-hmm.
But-
Whoa, you looking at me like that?
No, 4x4 ride height.
Oh, so he's looking at you.
Hot take. These hot take now.
You're being slammed.
These hot take. Aye, but 4x4 life.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna have to shoot. I'm gonna. I'll actually mute my mic. I had to think about those words. I'll mute my mic whilst I'm away, so there's less echo.
Okay.
Right, I will be back imminently. Ish.
Yeah. So, D, you've spent a lot of time tweaking.
A lot of time in my garage. Yeah,
Mhm.
I used to get home from work and then go and work on it for something, and kind of that's how a lot of the styling happened. A lot of the interior stuff. So one night, we maybe had sheets of flat carbon.
Mm.
So I took my door cards off, made a template, cut them out, and I've got carbon door cards, which was pretty easy to do with a flat sheet because they're flat door cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did lots of like interior stuff, and kind of a lot of engine bay dress up as well. Just every time you're in doing something, like putting the radiator in, sort of give things a clean up, take the lights out, clean it up. Eventually painted the bay, semi-polished the intake cover. That's an
Mhm.
unfinished job. It's too much work.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Keep polishing your car. No, it's like, yeah, I've kind of started like getting into that a little bit. So watching these videos, these clean cars, but it's a lot, a lot of work. Like,
Oh yeah, I'm far too lazy for it.
I just pay somebody to clean my car. I
oh
can't be
man,
bothered.
Yeah, but no, I've got mild engine tune and probably mild chassis tune.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's really still not that much done. It's just sort of there's a bit of bracing. I think a real big difference was Garage Star fender braces.
That's right. Yeah.
They made a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to try a rear strut brace. I don't have one, and I think that would help.
Mm.
And try maybe a stiffer anti-roll bar. I just want to get rid of body roll.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good chassis, but not for everyone. Try to
Yeah.
keep the price down. Sell them cheap.
Yeah. Sell us all your MX5s for cheap. We do. We like them, but we don't like them that much. So we like them cheap, please.
Yeah.
So yeah, about that. So with the MintyFresh thing, and we had, you had Pinecone Racing, which was your area, I suppose, garage. We had the 3 garages with the shoebox,
Yes.
the petrol donkey, which was like a piss take for mine, and then Pinecone Racing.
Yeah. So this would have been when Pete lived with Ed.
Mm-hmm.
He had a garage smaller than this area we're in right now.
Yeah, on the lost episode that we did with Pete, we spoke about the shoebox. So when we do finally get Pete back, when he's back home, we'll get back into it. But yeah, he speaks about how small the garage is there. So it's like
It
a
was
postage stamp.
it was small.
Mm.
Yeah.
My garage is tiny.
So I think I would have been going over to Pete's. I think he maybe first developed his drift sim Mark 1 at that time
Mm.
when he was there. So and we do small bits like he made a roof wing, and then he made me a roof wing out of plastic. And I can't remember. I remember taking my aero. I probably took my aero and fixed it with Pete in his garage.
Mm.
At one point. So that's sort of how we came up with Shoebox Garage, because
Yeah.
he'd been out to my garage helping me, and I was cutting trees at the time. So it's kind of like how I came up with Pinecone Racing,
Yeah.
and slightly kind of from an 86. It would have been, I'm going to get it wrong, but it could have been Yuyo's 86.
Mm.
I could also be wrong. There was another very popular driver, and it was a shop sticker along the front, and it was off a bunch of grapes, but it kind of looks like a pine cone as well.
Okay.
And that probably led me into creating like both what I did for work, like liking pine trees, and
Mm-hmm.
the sort of thinking about the old school British racing green vibe and everything. Sort of came up with that.
Yeah.
Kind of taking inspiration from NA driving, which would have been the 8.6s
Yeah.
and that. And then you had your garage you built,
Yeah. Petrol donkey.
and
It's
it's
like a
sort
piss take of gas monkey.
of represented sort of the industry you're in and everything.
Yeah.
And Pete also sort of lived at House of Rake,
Yeah. That's the slogan under the shoebox garage.
Yeah.
House of Rake.
because there was no grass, there was just chuckies.
Mm-hmm. Everybody thinks it's because his car was raked back, like forwards or backwards, but it's not about that at all. It's about
No.
actual raking chuckies.
I did
Yeah.
not know that.
It-
you know?
it-
No, I did not know that.
a lot of it comes from the Japanese gardens,
Yeah.
which is the floor mats, and Japanese maple leaf,
Mhm.
PG and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but you can buy all those garages of MintyFresh stickers.
Yep.
So did we miss any?
No, there's only 3 just now. The whole idea was there was going to be an HQ one, but the HQ that we had at the time was the one
Dotted about.
at the mushroom shed. So there was going to be a mushroom HQ, but then ended up moving, or Mint
Shroom
moved
queue.
all the stuff to the other house and then ended up here.
And I didn't have a garage at that time, so
Yeah, Nick's didn't have a garage.
Yours would always be something bueno.
yeah, bueno, direct. Garage.
You should comment below what Big Nix's garage should be called.
Yeah. The house of grocery bags.
Bags
Bag
are
HQ.
us.
Bag HQ. The 5p club. Oh, it's 10p for a shopping
No,
bag
it's
now.
30p now.
What?
30p for
Oh
the
my
bag.
Oh, man.
Bags are for life. That's
Yeah,
why
well, I was
buy a
going to
bag
say, I
for
hope your bags are for life.
Yeah, oh damn.
But I've never built the Pinecone racing car, really.
Mm.
I have an image in my head of what I want,
Yeah.
which won't be disclosed.
Mm.
And there's still sort of sketches of what the early, before Pete, of what the Gundam era was going to be. It wasn't even Gundam era then. It was, what was it?
It was Carbon Magic for a
yeah,
while.
Carbon
Carbon
Magic.
Magic.
So the colors, that's where the purple and yellow color scheme came from.
Yeah.
That was born out of Carbon Magic. So yeah, we did more little carbon bits than aero, but there's a plug in the garage off a front bumper that we started fillering up
Mm.
and never really completed.
Yeah.
We tried to mold those chrome side steps on MX5s as you get in the door.
Mm.
I've got 2 molds of them for popping carbon ones out of,
Mm.
and we did a plug cover, which is very unpractical
Yeah.
for hot engines. So
Yeah.
The carbon stuff was pretty good though. We tried to do carbon my S1s when I had them on the 14.
I
Didn't
don't
try
think
that. I
we
don't think it actually
succeeded.
succeeded though.
No, that was a. I reckon you would have to do dry carbon for that.
Yeah.
We were doing wet carbon.
Yeah, it was very much the early days of learning anything about anything to do with laying carbon or fiberglass or
I've been
anything.
really young. I'd have been in my teens probably. I don't even think I was.
Mm-hmm.
Would have been about 2011, 2010. 2011, I think.
Yeah, teens definitely.
Mm.
Yeah,
Whatever
I'm
it is.
29 now. So
Just a youngster.
still, yeah,
Fucking hell,
I
maybe
still
40,
feel quite
dude.
youthful.
Old as ass.
But yeah, no, I don't even think I was old enough to drink when I went abroad.
Oh no, when you went to Japan, you had to be 21, didn't you?
Yeah, I was 17. You
Yeah.
had to maybe be at least. Would I have been 18? Yeah, because that was August 2011.
Mm.
So
Jeez.
you can think back, if I'm 29 now, how old I would have been then.
Yeah.
That's for the viewers.
Maths.
I'm not thinking.
Yeah, so let's speak about that. So you went to Japan with Mint
Yeah,
and went to Bisu.
yeah, that was quite the first trip. Yeah, that was the Chaser,
Yeah.
the Chaser purchase.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting watching him step into that after the green MX5. I hadn't even bought that at that point. I was still driving my Mini because we were in Mexico the night before
Mm.
and getting all hyped up about going and driving our way home after being stopped. And I was following in the Mini and we came to this corner and Mint went round the corner like a hero. And then when he'd finished the corner, he succeeded the corner. When he finished the corner, I think he ran wide, hit some Mexican leaves, and then spun. Yeah, spun complete 360. And I think hit the front bumper on one verge and the back bumper on the other verge. Yeah, did at least a 360, hitting ping pong in both verges. I don't know which way he was facing, but probably de-bumpered it.
Mm.
And then bumpers back on and away we go.
Yeah.
Good old OEM aero.
He's got form for doing that. Like he did that to his S15. He's done
Yeah,
it to his
same,
MX5.
same Mexican streets.
Yeah, Mexican streets are slippery.
And narrow.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was funny. We both got out laughing in stitches. And
Yeah.
I think the next day we flew out. So he'd been on Mexican roads in a small car.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next week we're in Japan and picking up the Chaser.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember exactly what courses he did first, but you didn't get much warm up. The first sort of day of driving, I must have did school course, the one below, maybe new school course, because I don't think you he didn't drive the one in his S13 where he crashed in episode 4.
Yeah.
Don't think you drive that course anymore. It's too close to the zoo.
Okay.
So now new school course is the one that if he continued over that bank, he'd have plummeted down onto that
Plummeting
course.
down the hillside.
So that's maybe where he first took the chaser. But then not long after, it was the G1 competition down Minami.
Yeah.
Kind of a bad year to start your competition career in a brand new car twice the size. And he ran the wall like a hero because he was driving an MX5, but he was driving the chaser down Minami. Yeah. So I was like, dude, you are like, you couldn't even fit this Yoda cup in between the back. It made for good photos and videos, but I was like, yeah, don't push it anymore. You'll be scraping. But yeah, that was good. So he took me out on some courses, and I got taken out by some other guys as well. I got taken out by Jonathan Castro. He had an S14. He did quite good in the competition, and he told me then about his aspirations to join Formula Drift.
Yeah.
And nowadays,
Yeah, he's up there. Like.
he's still in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not up to date on Formula Drift, but yeah, he did. He did good. He went there. He was a good driver then.
Mm-hmm.
He took me out on that school course and could throw the car around well. Sort of, kind of, was displaying the modulation of the handbrake. Not just pull it on and hold it on. It was the like on off to keep the wheels rotating, but get what you need so you don't flat spot.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I probably went out in mostly S14s. Went out on Toge course with a guy, Anthony Cece. I think he's Australian and possibly had his own sort of workshop garage at one point. After that, I'm not sure at the time, he was in the mining crew. It's a whole bunch of Aussies from the open pit mines up that week. They'd had a whole week there in their cars getting used to them. So when they took us out for passenger rides, they knew the courses.
Yeah, they were ready to go.
That was an eye-opener, him ripping Toge course and me as a passenger.
Yeah.
And I maybe got taken out on North course. But I hadn't started drifting by then.
Yeah, so the bug pretty much bit again. It's much such like mint, I suppose.
Oh yeah, I think I was already on the path of getting there. I'd set my sights on it, but yeah, it was a good experience to kind of be shotgun to some good drivers on insane tracks. Neil took us out for dinner in Tokyo to this really cool restaurant, Tomo's restaurant. I have a sticker on the Mini from there. So we had a really good fried chicken. So yeah, we met Neil. I think he picked us up in his Skyline maybe. Or it might not have been big enough. I can't remember. But yeah, no, it was a good trip.
That's decent. We've not really spoke about much about the livery when you ran the livery on the car, on the MX5. So we did a photo shoot in, I'm gonna say 2015, but I'm probably wrong.
It was.
You still had that 207s on your car. So when was that?
Before I had the aim game kit. So yeah.
It was on my birthday, I think.
Yeah, I think it was actually.
Yeah, the shoot was actually on my birthday.
Yeah.
And we were gearing up for Awesome Boss. The photo shoot of all three of them painted freshly graphic.
Yep.
So mine would have been quite fresh painted from Pete.
Mm-hmm. So you painted it in your own garage.
Yeah. Yeah, that was cool.
With the Deuce kit on it.
Yes.
Before Gundam.
Yeah, and it hasn't really evolved kit-wise since that.
Mm-hmm.
So that was 2015.
Okay.
Yeah. And I have, it didn't have a roof wing. And one of the times I remember going to Pete's is he made a roof wing. So it kind of looks like a backwards baseball cap, a heat molded piece of plastic. And we painted that. So that came at a later date. But since that shoot, all that's happened is the car's sort of gotten lower.
Yeah. You've driven it quite a bit though.
Oh yeah.
Like a good few times.
And we moved the exhaust
Yeah, to make the big Bose exhaust.
Yeah, that's another typical modification right before a drift day. Yeah, let's put a straight through on.
Yeah, a big massive tailpipe sticking out the back.
Yeah, literally a straight pipe, and we cut the bumper for it to come out the left rather than curve round to the right.
Mm.
Did you not get black flag for that for it being so loud?
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah,
you
because we
stuck
stuck wire wool in it, didn't we? And it
Yeah.
blew it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the kazoo.
Yeah,
So-
I remember that.
Yeah, that was such a good idea, wasn't it? We
Yeah.
literally welded that up just before the event. I was like, I can never hear my car when I'm drifting, especially with turbo cars behind me. Like, I can't hear my car. You could definitely, the whole of
Oh,
Fife
man.
could hear it.
Yeah.
Angry wasp.
The whole kingdom of Fife could hear that car
Yeah.
revving.
Especially when I was like coming down the wall and just revving it just because. And in the rain, those rain sessions. That was when what was the team that was all yellow came up?
Slip wheel.
Oh,
Sorry?
Slip wheel.
Slip Wheel, yeah. Yeah, those dudes came up.
Yeah.
That might have been a different event. But we had to put a back box on it after that. I think we first went out with a true straight pipe
Mm.
with like not even a 45-degree kink in it.
Mm.
It was straight. And it was maybe 2.5 inch. Whatever it came out of the headers at, we just equaled that the whole way.
Mm.
So yeah, that was a trip to Asda maybe to find some self-tapping screws
Yeah.
and some wire wool like dish cleaner. Stuff that
Yeah,
down.
it was
and
like
then put
scouring, like that
Yeah,
metal
scouring.
scouring pad,
Yeah,
the Brillo
yeah, that-
pads, yeah.
that stuff, brill pads, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we stuffed them in and then put the screws in and you get it hot after a while and it would disintegrate. You'd melt it out. And then there's a good video from the pits
Mm.
off it half out, and every time I rev it, Pete's like, something's coming out your exhaust. Every time I revved it, it would like fly out like one of those party kazoo things.
insert clip here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was, I loved it. I could hear it. But no.
Couldn't hear anything else
It
anymore.
was so loud.
Yeah, I remember the staff coming over and like, I can hear you from all the way over there. Yeah.
Like,
everyone
what?
else was-
What did you say? I can't hear you.
Everyone else was loud.
I don't know. Fucking hell. Yeah, that was like a final boss, I think. Because, yeah, that was, final. So, final boss was when you had no,
There was a year when Mint was away.
it was
So
awesome boss. It's awesome boss. You had the exhaust because that's the video that I did with Chemical Brothers as a tune.
Okay.
And that's because that's you drove out the pits and you had the massive exhaust sticking at the back of your car.
Yeah.
So,
Was that? Now there was one year when Mint was away for a weekender, but I remember Mint was back for a weekender and Team Techno came over,
Mm-hmm.
and this was before I trailered it. I can't remember. Like the first weekender, I slept in the car in the MX5 with a standard passenger seat. So I sort of reclined that and slept in that. The second year, or the second weekender, I had a Bride recliner, which was an upgrade, still in the MX5. And then the third weekender, I had the Surf, which was luxury.
Yeah.
I just folded the rear seats down, could sleep diagonally, fully straight and flat, bin bags on the windows for curtains. Yeah, that was good.
They were good weekends. I mean, I had the Lexus. That was like a hotel. It was so nice in there.
Yeah.
Was that not also the weekend Jites had to change the gearbox?
Yeah, that was RX-8, wasn't it?
Yeah, not actually.
Yeah, I had to help. Yeah, I think I had to help him.
Yeah.
I remember going quite smooth though, because he'd done a few. That wasn't his first rodeo.
That wasn't his
He
first
was like,
rodeo
oh,
change,
guys,
that gearbox."
the stupid clutch. Yeah, he put in some mega clutch, didn't he? Like a really aggressive clutch, and he went through loads of gearboxes. So he was pro by changing them at that
Yeah.
point. But
My
yeah, no,
favourite
I
thing-
remember rolling in and parking up, and Mint parked up next to me. I can't remember if I had the Surf or if I drove the Mazda, and we were just looking over at the Team Techno cars, and I was like, dude.
Those
Yeah,
guys
like,
were
'cause
sound like.
I'd been watching the techno blogs, or no, it was probably from Juicebox,
Mm.
from all the Juicebox WordPress. like the early Team Techno cars.
Yeah.
And when I found out, speaking to Kevin Killian, that the first car that I was seeing was a shared car
Mm.
with both of them, how they got into it. But yeah, that was really cool seeing them both and getting to drive with them.
Mm.
Because, yeah, I guess the NA style, the 86, is probably sort of a big inspiration of how you drive.
Yeah.
But I think they might be easier to drive with a solid rear axle.
Probably.
Because, yeah, MX5s are made to grip.
Yeah.
And they don't make it easy for ourselves.
The MX5 was always like a roadster, you know, like weekend car, was it? That like for drift, like for like driving back roads and stuff. It wasn't designed to drift, really.
No, it was designed for handling really well.
Mm-hmm.
And it does.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a go-kart. I've been welding it recently. And I've really realised what people say when they say you sit on the floor. Because welding the sills and like burn through. And then I look on the inside and I go, wow, like 2 sheets of metal, like that is what you are off of the floor.
Good old Japanese steel.
Yeah, it's fine until it hits the UK roads.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was one of those weekenders that wrecked that chassis for me. Because I drove it home with the kit on. And then, you know, you had so much to get ready for the event, you know, being every day after work, you know, kind of get burning the candle to get there, do the event, get home, straight back into work, park it up and like, oh, done with it for a minute, but should have taken the side skirts off. Sat with grip in the skirts next to the sills.
Ooh. Yeah.
Just don't do it. Take your skirts off.
Yeah.
I'm paying for it.
Yeah, it's not good. Doesn't take long for them to rot out either, does it?
No, I don't mind welding. I just hate the prep. I'd love to kind of be able to put it on get it up as well. If
Yeah.
you quickly learn that gravity and hot welding beads come flying back on you.
Yeah. Get burnt alive.
Yeah, the smart thing to do would be reshell it.
He's back.
Oh, whoa. Genie's back.
Back from doing stuff. Well, you missed out on the whole episode. We dished out money and everything. So you missed out. Too late, bro.
Oh, wait, my microphone's off.
Oh, because you muted yourself.
I'm back.
So yeah, we handed out heaps of cash while you were away.
Did you?
Yeah, you missed out. Yeah,
Cash
That
lottery.
YouTuber.
yeah. Mr. Beast.
That's the one.
Mr. Beast
Yeah.
handed out cash. We did like a don't take your hand off a Lamborghini video. If you can keep your hands on this £10,000, you can keep it. So
Who did it? Who won?
D won everything.
Last 3 days.
Good job, D.
Getting Alexis now.
Yeah.
he's moving up
D
in the
kept
world.
his hands on Alexis for 7 days and won it.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
That was a struggle getting out. See, when I got out there just now.
Mm-hmm.
So your car, the back end was here, and your Jeep was here, and then my Mark X was here. So I was like reversing out on the brake, but obviously with the ice, it just locked up, and I slid back anyway. So I had to rapid press the mirror folding in thing to get past the back of the Jeep. That was an ordeal. I was like, I'm going in this Jeep with this Colt, one of the
It's
two.
not the Colt, that's fine.
I figured the Jeep could take it better.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, uphill, so push you downhill into the Colt.
That I was thinking I might just like bounce
Like a pinball.
like a pinball machine. Yeah.
Oh well. So episode complete.
Which episode did you get to?
This is
Well,
we're still in the same
11.
episode. So yeah.
We're just wrapping up 11 now.
Did you get loads of technical information?
Mm-hmm.
Did you?
Yeah, went deep.
Happy with the technical
Yeah.
side?
Oh, I don't know, you tell us.
I'll
So
need to
who-
watch it.
Well, hopefully 23 you'll all be driving again.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Silence from Mint. It's like doing maths
I'll
in
be
his head.
driving, just not sure which car.
Yeah. It'd be good to see us all back out on track anyway.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely.
Yeah. Does
TD's to come back.
Pete still have the turbo car?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well,
Has the Chaser even been on with MX5? Like,
which one?
only once? With your MX?
Yeah. The time D brake checked you And you crashed in the back,
that's
remember?
right. No,
Mm.
D brake check Pete.
Oh,
Yeah, I got off scot-free.
Yeah.
that's right. I always think it's you that
I
got
know.
with the sandwich, but you weren't the sandwich. It was Pete.
No,
that
I
was
was
the
at the
sandwich.
back. I went into the Alteza exhaust.
But it serves Pete right, because he rear-ended me pretty hard on a trail day. I de-lammed and it popped, so I straightened up and he was coming in hot, hit me, and I went flying into the tyres. And then had to straighten it out, kinked the rear rail
Oof.
a bit. But yeah, it's all on my Instagram.
Oh, we're gonna do a plug
Yeah,
for D's
so-
Instagram.
So follow Mr. D on Instagram.
MintyFresh_Mr D.
Yeah, it's a historic page.
Yeah, because
it's
D's not
current.
connected to the Matrix
Yeah,
It's not current.
he's off the grid.
I live
D's
in the pine woods,
in the forests.
practicing my
Mhm.
pinecone meditation.
Yep.
Pinecone. Oh, did you talk about Pinecone racing?
Yep.
Sweet.
Already covered it, bro.
Yeah.
You've been away for like an hour, dude. We
Yeah, I
covered
know.
heaps.
I was away. In fact, actually, almost bang on 1 hour in 2 minutes time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? Felt like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's
In
the
fact-
power of YouTube.
It was no time, thanks to the power of editing.
Oh yeah, the
Mhm.
power post edit.
Yeah.
You'll need to put in some Harry Potter style shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh well.
Did you bring dinner back?
Yeah, I
it was
went
such a
out.
hassle to
Yeah.
get
That's the
out.
face of somebody that didn't take any food back with him.
Went out hunting and gathering. Got some
Mm.
berries. Berry soup.
Oh well. We're gonna go get some dinner, and we'll catch you guys later.
Yeah. Thanks for watching episode
7.
Echo.
And definitely say if you like the technical ramble, or if you like Nix's version of expensive talk.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was the last episode.
yeah, that was last
Yeah,
episode.
but I mean,
Episode
people will have watched that, then watch this.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, people can't handle going to episode 3 without seeing 2.
6. That's true. Yeah, so if you enjoyed this episode, give us a thumbs up.
Like, comment, and subscribe as always.
And
Is
ring the
it-
bell.
The thumbs up is a like, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
Mhm.
give us either or.
Yeah.
You've got to go give us a like, comment,
Comment below.
and I don't know how you subscribe.
Follow
the-
and subscribe.
The bell.
Yeah.
Well, no. You subscribe and then you bell.
Someone could tell us how to do this.
Yeah.
There's probably a YouTube for that.
YouTube for that. Oh well.
But yeah, we're also on Rumble. You can check us on Rumble. Give us a follow on Rumble
On Spotify.
and Spotify. Although is Spotify video as well?
Mm-hmm.
Is it? Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, your preferred platform, and we'll catch you on the next episode of Chronicles of No One Fresher. MintyFresh TV.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye.
Peace out.